Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and unbeknownst to many, because the mainstream media just doesn't want to report on anything that is of any significance regarding freedom of speech, Julian Assange, public disclosure organizations that have time and time again gave us real documentation, including what? The 2016 Wikileaks emails that are now so notorious and so embedded into the consciousness of Americans, and unbeknownst to a large portion of them, guess what? Doesn't have anything to do with Russia or the government. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. And a lot of people, the vast majority of people on either side of the issue, have no idea there are court cases still going on involving what? The origin of where those leaks actually came from. And this is aside from the witch hunt trials that are trying to make the man behind me into a cyber terrorist. So documents were filed yesterday, okay, that we are totally going to get very deep into. We're going to read the actual questions, but I do want to give a quick summation for those that do not know what's going on here. Through various lawsuits regarding the Rich family suing not only, I believe, Fox News, but Ed Butowski, and then there's a bunch of litigation surrounding that. Butowski and others, including Maria Zimmerman, claim they have a lot of evidence that shows that Seth Rich was indeed the leaker of these documents, and they were not hacked, they were downloaded off a server. And there is a lot of evidence that's out there already that proves that Assange and Seth Rich, maybe even Aaron Rich, his brother, were communicating back and forth. And just so everybody understands, we've done numerous videos of Seymour Hersh playing the recorded audio that he says that there is an FBI document on Seth Rich, right? And that later on it comes out that his source in court, what? That his source from court was, I believe, Andrew McCabe. They let that sink in, okay? So there's so much going on here that's just totally and completely unreported by the press. So again, right now, what you have going on is Fox News wanting to depose Julian Assange on these issues and interview him via a video conference call, which could be made very easily in Belmarsh Prison. Okay, so we're going to read that in a moment, but I want to remind everybody what you just heard in the first 3 minutes of this broadcast is probably considered harmful content. We are now 4 months deep of full demonetization. Can you imagine any other thing that you did for a living and you never had a strike at all against anything, right? No copyright strikes, nothing like that, no harmful content, no picking on people. You had at the time 1,200 plus videos, 1,200 plus videos, and then all of a sudden your income is completely taken away. Well, that's what happened here. So I need you guys' help more than ever. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Lots of things going on in New York. I need to get out of here. There'll be a video later today on this idea that now New York State is suing the NRA to dissolve them. But they don't want your guns. And everybody knows I don't beat my chest over the Second Amendment, but I understand how important it is, especially when they're restricting our first in such a manner. So we're going to read all those down there, guys. I want to remind everybody, I'm a documentary filmmaker. This isn't news to me. If you want to see my global picture films, go check out Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture so you can understand the mass deceptions and organizations that are pushing these deceptions on people to socially reconstruct our entire human existence. Let's be honest. That's where we're at right now. Our entire human existence. And it's frightening. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share, guys. And, of course, you can support me over on Rockfin. So let's do it. Let's read it. So this is basically Fox News saying that we have every right to depose Julian Assange and you should assist in this procedure, and we can do it via video. And here are the questions that we would like to ask. Now remember, they'll get to ask more than just these questions. They'll be able to obviously follow up. I don't think there's any chance that Fox is going to get this, but how this isn't all over the news, again, it just shows you how controlled the global media is. So, first question, what was Mr. Assange's role, if any, in the establishment of Wikileaks? Obviously, he is one of the founding members, if not the brainchild, obviously, behind the whole organization. What was Mr. Assange's role, if any, in connection with the activities of Wikileaks in 2016? Of course, this is when these emails get into the public. In 2016 and 2017, what role, if any, did Mr. Assange have regarding the content of WikiLeaks Twitter postings? And again, during this time period, there's a lot of different Twitter postings regarding these emails. 4, what was Mr. Assange's involvement, if any, in WikiLeaks' July 22nd, 2016 release of emails and documents from the Democratic National Committee, as referenced at, and they give you the URL where anybody can go obtain all of these emails today, real emails that show massive corruption and a lot of other filthy things. When were those emails and documents provided to WikiLeaks? How did WikiLeaks obtain the DNC emails and documents? What individual and or entity provided the DNC emails and documents to WikiLeaks? Which individuals and or entities obtained those materials from the DNC? And here where we start getting Seth Rich by name. Okay, by name. Describe any role played by Seth Rich to your knowledge in obtaining those materials and or providing them to WikiLeaks. Remember, this is a 60-page document, by the way, guys, which includes addressing, I believe, when you get down to like 20 or so pages, that's where like the original suit is republished in here. But we're not going to read the whole document, but just right here, you get the gist, right? Seth Rich being named right there. They're going to ask about Russia. And these are just the base questions. To your knowledge, has WikiLeaks ever offered a reward for information related to a murder that occurred in the United States other than in relation to the murder of Seth Rich? If so, on how many occasions? Also a great point. Why did WikiLeaks provide a reward for information related to the murder of Seth Rich? Let's continue. Has Mr. Assange ever communicated with Seth Rich in any manner? If so, what was the content of the communications? And remember, we know this FBI document that we were talking about earlier with Seymour Hersh absolutely exists, and that Peter Strzok requested it. And we showed you what part of the Mueller report actually talked about this, and you could see how much was still censored. Okay? Think about that. Why did WikiLeaks provide a reward for information related to the murder of Seth Rich? Has Mr. Assange ever communicated with Seth Rich in any manner? If so, what was the content of the communications? If Mr. Assange himself has not communicated with Seth Rich, is Mr. Assange aware as to whether any person affiliated with WikiLeaks ever communicated with Seth Rich in any manner? If so, who communicated with Seth Rich, and what, to Mr. Assange's knowledge, was the content of such communications? Has Mr. Assange ever communicated in any manner with any other member of the Rich family, including but not limited to Aaron, Joel, or Mary Rich? Aaron is one of the ones that's, his brother, that's named heavily throughout these documents, by the way. If so, not this particular one, but in connection to these suits. If so, what was the content of those communications? To Mr. Assange's knowledge, has any other person affiliated with WikiLeaks ever communicated in any member with the Rich family? If so, who communicated with the Rich family? And what, to Mr. Assange's knowledge, was the content of such communications? Here we go, and this is where they basically say the Russian collusion, come on, give me a break. To Mr. Assange's knowledge, did any individual and or entity affiliated with the Russian Federation, including but not limited to the FSB, SVR, GU, or GRU, FSPSI, or any other intelligence service play any role in obtaining or providing to WikiLeaks, the 2016 DNC emails released by WikiLeaks. So if he didn't answer any of the other questions when he says no to that one, think about it. So all this is in the public arena. You can go download this. Go to my Twitter feed. I have it retweeted. Thumbs the video up. Subscribe and share, guys. Once again, I need your help more than ever. Harmful content, can't talk about the truth while you're trying, again, and that's a problem with this administration. As bad as Sleepy Joe is, right? I mean, I don't even know if we can call him Sleepy Joe. Can we start calling him Zombie Joe? How about Zombie Joe? So, come on, man. What are you, a junkie? As bad as Zombie Joe is, it's not like the Trump administration isn't trying to take our free speech away, hasn't labeled public disclosure organizations in the same league as Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Iran, North Korea, terrorist organizations, etc. in their counterintelligence 2020 to 2022 document. It's there. We've done it. So again, thumbs it up, subscribe and share. If you want to know one of the big moments in history that really began to bring us here, and now it is a big moment in history almost 20 years later, you got to understand 9/11. Loose Change Final Cut and Fabled Enemies especially, which has Joey B before he was Zombie Joe in it. Joey B has been featured for a long time before he was even the vice president in my work. So Fabled Enemies, you want a better understanding, Loose Change Final Cut, it's in the playlist section right here. In documentaries. You can go watch it for free. Once again, join the Burmish Brigade if you're new to the channel. Check me out over at Rockfin as well. And guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.